against him, but their testimonies did not agree. Then some rose up and bore false witness against him, saying, We heard him out. Will destroy this temple made with hands, and within 3 days I will build another made without hands. But not even then did their testimony agree. And the high priest stood up in the midst and asked Jesus, saying, Do you answer nothing? What is it these men testify against you? But he kept silent and answered nothing. Again the high priest asked him, saying to him, You are the Christ, the Son of the Blessed. Jesus said, I am. And you will see the Son of Man sitting at the right hand of the power and coming with the clouds of heaven. Then the high priest tore his clothes and said, What further need do we have of witness? You have heard what the blasphemy. What do you think? And they all condemned him to be deserving of death. Then someone began to spit on him and to blindfold him and to beat him and to say to him, Prophecy, and the officers struck him with the palms of their hands. Now as Peter was below in the courtyard, one of these servant girls came of the high priest came, and when she saw Peter warming himself, she looked at him and said, You also were with Jesus of Nazareth. But he denied it, saying, I neither know nor understand what you are saying. And he went out on the porch, and a rooster crowed. And the servant girl saw him again, and began to say to those who stood by, This is one of them. But he denied it again. And a little later, those who stood by him to Peter, Surely you are one of them, for you are a Galilean, and your speech shows it. Then he began to curse and swear, I do not know this man of whom you speak. A second time the rooster crowed. Then Peter called to mind the word that Jesus had said to him, Before the rooster crows twice, you will deny me 3 times. And when he thought about it, he wept, bowed down before the holy gospel.
According to St. Luke.
اللهم اطرف علينا وارحمنا واجعلنا مستحقين لسماع إنجيلك المقدس. فصل من بشارة الإنجيل لماري معلمنا لوقا البشير والتلميذ الطاهر، بركاته على جميعنا. أما بطرس فرأته جارية جالسا عند الضوء، فتفرست فيه ثم قالت أن هذا أيضا كان معه. أما هو فأنكره قائلا لست أعرفه يا امرأة. وبعد قليل رآه آخر فقال وأنت أيضا منهم. فقال بطرس يا رجل لست أنا. ولما مضى نحو ساعة أكد عليه آخر قائلا في الحقيقة هذا أيضا كان معه لأنه جليلي. فقال بطرس يا رجل لست أعرف ما تقول. وللوقت بينما هو يتكلم صاح الديك. فالتفت الرب ونظر إلى بطرس فتذكر بطرس قول الرب كما قال له إنه قبل أن يصيح الديك تنكرني 3 مرات. فخرج بطرس خارجا وبكى بكاء مرا. والرجال الذين أمسكوه كانوا يهزؤون به ويضربونه وغطوه وكانوا يسألونه قائلين تنبأ لنا من الذي ضربك. وأشياء أخرى كثيرة كانوا يقولونها عليه مجدفين. اسجدوا الإنجيل المقدس
حسب القديس يوحنا والمجد لله دائما.
Also reading according to St. John, may his blessings be with us all, amen. And Simon Peter followed Jesus, and so did another disciple. Now that disciple was known to the high priest and went with Jesus into the courtyard of the high priest. But Peter stood at the door outside. Then the other disciple who was known to the high priest went out and spoke to her who kept the door and brought Peter in. And the servant girl who kept the door said to Peter, you are not also one of this man's disciples, are you? He said, I am not. Now the servants and officers who had made a fire of coals stood there, for it was cold, and they warmed themselves. And Peter stood with them and warmed himself. The high priest then asked Jesus about his disciples and his doctrine. Jesus answered him, I spoke openly to the world. I always taught in synagogues and in the temple, where the Jews always meet, and in secret I have said nothing. Why do you ask me? Ask those who have heard me what I said to them. Indeed, they know what I said. And when he had said these things, one of the officers who stood by struck Jesus with the palm of his hand, saying, do you answer the high priest like that? Jesus answered him, if I have spoken evil, bear witness of the evil. But if well, why do you strike me? Then Annas sent him bound to Caiaphas the high priest. Now Simon Peter stood and warmed himself. Therefore they said to him, you are not also one of his disciples, are you? He denied it and said, I am not. One of the servants of the high priest, a relative of whose ear Peter cut off, said, did I not see you in the garden with him?